What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Harrison, and I feel like I say this every video now. It's been a while since I made a video. I've just been so busy with holiday stuff and work and stuff like that. So I plan on starting in the new year. I'm going to pump out a lot more videos on maybe some general news. I don't like covering necessarily news because I feel like so many channels do that, but maybe my thoughts on some sort of news that comes out. So I'll probably do some stuff like that. I do want to get a 2024 gaming room tour because I have definitely changed my game room since the last video that we did back in 2023. I think it was early 2023 is when I did that, and I may have done an updated one, but I've gotten a lot of stuff. I've gotten more posters. I've got more more collectible items, so I wanna do a video, a dedicated video on that, and then I thought about even doing, like a Nintendo Switch, um, showing off all my Nintendo Switch games and stuff like that. I feel like that could be, a lot of fun too. But yeah, the whole point of this video is I wanna do the big 3 companies in review in 2023 and talk about my excitement levels for them going forward into 2024. So, let's go ahead and just get it started. I'll start with PlayStation because I feel like I'm probably the most negative about PlayStation right now, and I hate to be like that, but I'm just not a big fan of the way their company has been ran, in the last few years. But obviously, we know that Jim Ryan is out. He has stepped down, um, and which is a good thing. I think Jim Ryan was a businessman. He was a very good businessman, but I think it was probably about time for him to retire as CEO of PlayStation. But so yeah, let's talk about PlayStation. So as far as first party games go, they didn't have a ton this year, which is fine. Not every year is going to be a great year for first party games. I mean, Xbox has been in a drought for a very very long time on first party exclusives. So yeah, they had the Horizon Burning Shore DLC, which I heard was incredible. That last boss fight I heard was insane and just something that just could not be ran on an older system. And then we got Spider-Man 2 not too long ago, and from what I've heard, again, I haven't played it. I don't even own a PlayStation 5 at this point. I'll talk about that here in a little bit, but I heard it was a really great sequel. Like, it really didn't do anything groundbreaking. I've heard that the story in the first one was better. Yes, the fast travel system that they have looks absolutely insane and absolutely could not run on a prior console, like the PS4 or PS4 Pro or something like that. So Spider-Man feels like the first current gen game. I don't want to say next gen because we've been in next gen for 3 years now, but feels like the first current gen game where it just could not run on the PS4. So that being said, and then we also got we got the PlayStation Portal, which I don't know. I know a lot of people love it. I know a lot of people like to play handheld. It's expensive. It's got its proprietary, headphones that you have to. You've got the 3.5 millimeter jack that you can put your own wired headphones into, but you have to use their own accessory for headphones, and they're 150 to $200. So the PlayStation brand to me, it's starting to feel a bit like Apple when everything just feels so premium, which is good, but premium also means more expensive. So, you know, you've got the PlayStation, the PlayStation VR 2, right? That's $600. So that's $1,100 to get into the VR and PlayStation world because you have to have the PlayStation 5 in order to use the PSVR 2. So it just seems it's very very expensive to get into that ecosystem. And again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like it all feels like a premium product and a lot like Apple in that regard. But again, it just feels very expensive and why I really haven't had the need to buy a PS5 yet. And that kind of bums me out because I certainly want one. Now I don't love the new design of the PS Slim edition. Um, I don't know. Honestly I really haven't enjoyed like a design of a PlayStation maybe since like the PS2 Slim. I think that was a really awesome, really cool design, and everything else just hasn't felt. The PS4 was okay, like its original design was okay, but that's just me. Some people love it, some people hate it. It is what it is. As long as the console runs good, right? So PlayStation's overall year, I mean, like we said, they didn't have a ton of first party content. Outside of Spider-Man, that the Horizon um DLC. I think Gran Turismo 6 or 7 launched as well this year, I believe. And they've got that really cool VR mode, which is awesome. But going back to the VR, I haven't really seen a lot of first party games come out of that, so it's just heavily relied on third party stuff. We've got Resident Evil on there, which is great, but this feels like the same thing that happened to the first PSVR. They had some pretty decent first party stuff, and then nothing for forever. So that kind of scares me a little bit, and why I just wouldn't purchase a PSVR 2. I'm more looking at the Quest 3 maybe than like a PS4 VR 2 at this point. But yeah, I don't trust PlayStation when it comes with the VR at all. I feel like they just don't support it in the long run. For as expensive as that thing is. Um, so yeah, as overall, PlayStation had a pretty, I would say, a pretty mid year for me. Again, I don't own a PlayStation, and I just don't feel the need to get one. Say hi. But yeah, I played God of War Ragnarok on my base PS4, and it ran incredibly well. It was a fantastic game. That was obviously last year, right? That was 2022, but yeah, I just haven't had a need to purchase one, and with the rumors of a maybe coming out next year, that doesn't excite me. I feel like we're still. I mean, we're about to be, we're 3 years into these new consoles, and obviously COVID happened, right? That kind of delayed everything, but it really feels like we're just getting started on the next generation stuff, and we're already in talks of pro stuff. So yeah, I'm not super happy with, or super. I wouldn't say happy because I don't own any of their the system, but I'm not compelled to get a PS5 at this point. Now, Bloodborne 2. Hey, where you at? Where's that Bloodborne 2? Give me that Bloodborne remaster. That's why I bought a PS4 in the first place, was for Bloodborne. So come on, PlayStation. Let's get that on the platform. All right, let's move over to Xbox. Xbox had a lot better of a year than 2022. Still wasn't a fantastic year in my opinion. I feel like it could have been better. Obviously, I mean they started out with their developer direct, and showed off more Redfall. They showed off a little bit of Starfield, or no, I think no, they didn't show Starfield off at that January direct. Um, they showed off Forza, and then they showed off Hi-Fi Rush, which was a nice surprise. And Shadow released that day, which is awesome. I do appreciate a good Shadow drop every once in a while. Nintendo has done that a bunch this year, so I like that a lot. And then Redfall came out, right? Which to me the game never looked incredible. Obviously it was Arcane, so we were kind of everyone was pretty excited, but then it came out and it ran like crap. Um, the gameplay itself just wasn't fun. The AI was horrendous. Everything about the game just lacked any sort of appeal at all. Uh, and it was getting like 50 reviews, 60 reviews. And then Phil Spencer, and props to him, he came on to the Kind of Funny XCast show and just kind of laid it out there that he was not happy with the state of things with Xbox. And that's when he was talking about they lost the worst generation to lose with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, where everybody was kind of converting over to digital, and they can carry all that stuff going forward, and they definitely lost that generation. But I mean, that was on Don Matrick and that team back in the day when they launched the Xbox One, and it had to be they said it had to be online always, right? And then turns out what 10 years later with the PS5 and Xbox Series X, you pretty much have to be online to play your games. So maybe they were just a little bit ahead of the time, but it obviously left a huge, like a bad taste in many people's mouths, and that's why the PlayStation just took over. So I get his frustrations. I do agree with them losing that generation. It definitely hurt them in the long run. But I feel like the Series X and the Series S are a great system. Um, there's a little bit of that parity issue with Baldur's Gate 3, but they were able to figure that out. Larry and Phil and the team were able to figure that out and get that on there before the year end, which is, I mean, Baldur's Gate is like the biggest game of 2023, and for that to not be on the Xbox is insane. So they had to get it on there, and they did by the Game Awards. So that's awesome. And props to Phil and the team for getting that done. Um, and then Starfield came out, right? We're kind of all over the place in the timeline of 2023, but Starfield came out, and it wasn't the next coming of video games, of RPGs that many people were hoping it would be. It was just another Bethesda game in space. Um, and I was pretty bummed out about Starfield. I probably put about 50 to 60 hours, maybe a little bit less, into the game. Finished the game, beat it a couple times. And I think the Bethesda charm is done with me. There's always the Bethesda jank that's funny. And there was definitely some moments like that in the game. And I did have some laugh out loud moments, where something ridiculous would happen. But the overall gameplay just didn't sit well with me. I just did not enjoy it. And granted, I don't like Fallout that much. I liked Fallout 3 a lot. Didn't really care for Fallout 4. And obviously Elder Scrolls is my favorite in the Bethesda series. So I really hope they look at Starfield and the way they do their games, like, just, I don't know, when you like the over encumbrance stuff kills me. I hate it in those games. It's not fun to have to stop every 20 seconds and either dump your inventory or figure out something to do with it. Um, and then just like the whole like stare down when you're talking to an NPC, and it just feels fake. It feels, I don't know, it kind of takes you out of the game when it does that. I know all their games are like that. So I really hope with Elder Scrolls 6 and going forward they change that, because it just takes you out of the experience. And I just don't enjoy it anymore. I'd be curious about now if I was to go back and play like Skyrim or Elder Scrolls, in which there's a rumor of Elder Scrolls Oblivion getting a remaster next year, which is cool. But I wonder if playing that style again, I would still have the same feelings about it, because I just enjoy like that combat more than I do like shooting weapons and stuff versus swords and bow and arrows. So I'm curious about that. But yeah, Starfield was a bummer. It's a good game, but I feel like a lot of people just expected it to be this masterpiece, and it just wasn't. Now, of course, that's my opinion, right? And everything is subjective. This Starfield may be many people's game of the year, but for me, not even close. I don't think it's even going to crack my top 10, which I did not expect to go into. I had this big plan of I was going to role play in this game and be a space pirate and all that, and then when you get into the space combat and it's you're just flying around a JPEG, like it's just an image of the planet that you're at, and then there might be some stuff you can interact with. Huge bummer in that. That was probably my biggest bummed out moment, was that part, realizing that the space exploration really wasn't there. So, um, and then we got the Microsoft Blizzard acquisition finally was completed. That took forever, and was quite annoying. So I'm glad that's done. We should start to see a lot of stuff hit Game Pass next year, on the Call of Duty front, and some more Blizzard Activision stuff. Very excited to see what they do. Maybe they'll bring back some long dead franchises, bring back Tony Hawk, Spyro, stuff that Activision has just killed in the past, just so they could just make milk Call of Duty for what it's worth. And then Call of Duty came out, and Call of Duty seems like it's not very good. Modern Warfare 3, the campaign is incredibly short. Um, yeah, I don't know. Call of Duty hasn't been for me for a long time, but I would like to play the campaigns once they drop on Game Pass at some point. So excited for that. Then obviously in the leaks, we got, like I mentioned earlier, we got the all the Bethesda remasters, Oblivion remaster. We got to look at the new Xbox Series X, like this cylinder version, like their version of the Slim, which could be really cool. Again, it's a Slim, so I'm not super excited. So it seems like from what Phil said, they're skipping the Pro this generation, and rumors has it that in 2026 they're going to drop a whole new console. So that would make sense why they're just going to skip the Pro and just ride the Series X. So yeah, Xbox. I feel like game wise, they have so many games being cooked up right now. Hellblade 2 looks incredible, and I just want to play it at this point. I don't need to see anything else. We got a very good look at it at the Game Awards. Um, I cannot wait to play Hellblade. It looks incredible. And the first one was fantastic. So Xbox has a lot of good going for them into 2024, and I'm excited what they'll will release. I'm sure we'll get some sort of early direct like they did last year. Maybe give us some dates for some games that we just don't know yet, but we know are coming in 2024, or at least should be. So yeah, I'm very excited. I thought that their year was kind of like PlayStation. It was kind of a bit mid as far as games go. But they I am excited about Xbox going forward. They did have a lot of great Game Pass stuff. I mean, so many Game Pass games hit there. Big ones like Liza P, which was a great Souls like Pinocchio game. So, and many more Game Pass games. Remnant 1 and 2 dropped like seemingly out of nowhere, which is awesome. I've yet to play Remnant, but it's cool that it's there for me to check out. So yeah, Xbox the brand I feel like is going pretty strong, and I'm excited for their future in 2024. So let's talk Nintendo. So probably the swan song of the Switch life cycle is this year of 2023, and boy did they deliver on games. They Nobody likes to say that Nintendo has like the most output of first party games, but it's true. And they generally sell the most, which is absolutely wild compared to the leaks with PlayStation and Insomniac stuff. I didn't talk about that, but Spider-Man 2 costing 200 to 300 million dollars is absolutely absurd. Um and I can see why PlayStation, it was trying to have it in the 12 live service games, and they obviously cut those in half. And I didn't even talk about it, but The Last of Us, the factions multiplayer getting canceled, was absolutely insane. But the Insomniac leaks, I really want to know how much Nintendo spent on making Tears of the Kingdom compared to Spider-Man, because Nintendo games like Luigi's Mansion 3 sold more copies than The Last of Us 2, which is kind of crazy. And you know that Luigi's Mansion 3 probably wasn't that expensive to make when you compare it to The Last of Us. So I really want to know that. That's just me, but I'm sure a lot of people want to know, because that's 2 to 300 million is crazy. But yeah. So yeah, back to Nintendo. Yeah, Nintendo delivered on games this year. I mean, we got obviously Tears of the Kingdom, probably going to be my game of the year. I'm still deciding my top 10 list. Tears of the Kingdom it was amazing. It was a great sequel that innovated, changed up the pre-existing Hyrule that we knew and loved, added the depths. I mean, they didn't talk about that in any of the marketing leading up to Tears of the Kingdom. We did get like one trailer that showed like a brief part of the depths, but we didn't know what that was. And I had the most fun in the depths, like just exploring was incredible. I cannot believe they hid that from us, and it was one of the biggest new pieces of the game. So crazy. And Pikmin 4 came out. Pikmin 4 was incredible. Um, Best Pikmin to date, I believe. Uh, it was I was blown away by Pikmin. I did not expect it to be as good as it was, and all that stuff, and like the post game stuff was really good too. I loved it. It was a great game. And then we got stuff like Bayonetta Origins. Um, if you're a Mario fan, we got the Mario movie. Obviously, we got the Super Mario RPG. We got Mario Wonder, which came out. I'm not as high on Mario Wonder and the Mario RPG. I've yet to finish those games. I think I'm a little bit Marioed out, to be honest. I mean, we got a lot of Mario stuff this year. And then we have, Luigi's Mansion 2 coming next year, the Peach game, and then the Thousand Year Door remake. So we've got a lot of Mario on the horizon. Um, so not as high on Mario, but Nintendo had a great year with all their stuff. And all signs are pointing at 2024 having the Switch 2 get revealed and come out. So, and we could be getting something as early as January. We might get a January Switch reveal, and come out in like April or May or something like that. That's kind of been the rumors. Or maybe they'll have their normal February direct, announce reveal the Switch 2 and then have it come out a little bit later in the year. So, yeah, I mean, that's for me. I mean, like, Nintendo's probably my favorite company out there. Zelda is like my favorite franchise. I love the Switch. I thought the Switch was their best system they've done to date. And if we can get something that's a little bit more powerful, um, just keep the same form factor. I'm fine with the Switch. I'm sure they'll do something. They'll have another feature or something like that. I don't think it's gonna. There's been some crazy concepts of like a flip, a Switch that can like flip out a second screen, kind of like a DS. I don't think Nintendo's gonna go that route. But I do expect it to be a Switch too. I don't see, or a Super Switch or something like that. I don't see it's gonna be something completely different because the Switch has just crushed the market this generation. Um, so yeah, I'm very excited for. I think Switch had a great year with just Tears of Kingdom alone. I mean, it was incredible. We got Metroid Prime back, that Shadow Drop back in the February Direct. That was an incredible remaster. I absolutely love that. Hopefully, we'll get 2 and 3 at some point. Metroid Prime 4, we got down here on the horizon. There's so much stuff that Nintendo can reveal. I mean, there's the rumored, Ocarina of Time remake. When are we gonna get Wind Waker and Twilight Princess off of the Wii U so we can play that on the Switch? Hopefully, that's gonna come soon. So much stuff we can look forward to with Nintendo, and then obviously new hardware is the most exciting. So yeah, Nintendo I think had the best year out of the three. As far as just first party stuff goes, I'm sure there's stuff I'm missing, but then just the overall excitement that we have for new hardware. And the Zelda movie got announced too. Through like a random tweet. So yeah, very excited for Nintendo. I'm very excited for their 2024. And yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up the video. I appreciate if you guys are this far. I appreciate you guys listening and watching, of course. I'm used to the podcast. I do have a podcast, Gaming with the Broscast. We stream every Monday, so check that out. If you guys can, that would be great. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you guys agree with a lot of I had to say? If not, or did you think the PlayStation had a better year than maybe I gave it credit for? Let me know in the comments below. We'll have a good conversation about that. And this is going to be my last video for 2023. I will see you guys in the new year. Have a great day. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.